Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell in the upper right-hand corner. Follow me on all forms of social media. Check me out at thatdrummerguy.com and enjoy the following presentation.
Hello?
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. It's great to be able to talk to you again and be able to talk about some brand new Soilwork with you.
Yeah. It's hasn't been that long, has it? It's just a couple of months, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Since
only
we
been...
talked last.
Yeah, it hasn't been too long being able to talk about the Night Flight Orchestra, which is still one of my favorite albums of 2018, but now getting into 2019 already with Soilwork and the brand new album, which I hope I'm getting the name right of Verkligheten. Is that how it's pronounced?
Verkligheten. Yeah.
Okay.
So close.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, that comes out January 11th through Nuclear Blast, and thank you for taking time to be able to talk to me again.
Well, thank you.
Well, speaking of the last time we were talking, you were talking a little bit back then about prepping up for this album, but what's it like now knowing that this album is just coming out in just a few weeks?
Well, really excited about it. We put out some singles, and I guess there's a little bit like mixed reactions, but mostly good. It's really hard to sort of put out songs that sort of represents the whole album, and in the end, they don't really have to. But I think people are really gonna love this album, so I'm very excited to finally share it, with people.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, last week I was able to get the chance to be able to check out the album in full, and I easily gotta say, without question, this might be my favorite Soilwork album to date. It captures everything I love about the band. It's got the diversity I love about it. When it gets intense, it gets so intense. When it gets melodic, it gets so melodic and very happy and catchy. It's got everything that I've always loved about the band, but just brand new, and I really appreciate that.
Very cool. I'm very glad to hear that.
Oh, definitely. So, with that in mind, obviously, with your busy schedule and everything like that, and with Soilwork releases being a few years apart now this time around, what was it like to be able to start writing for this album?
Well, we did a lot of touring for the Majestic. We did 3 North American tours. We did 2 European tours. We did Australia, Japan, and then also South America for the first time, and then all the festivals. So we needed some time off after that touring cycle, and sort of slowly approach a new record. But, once I sort of just sat down, it sort of, came to me, and it was pretty easy in the end. It might not sound like it, but it was, once I restringed that guitar and tuned down to B, and I think David can also agree with me, it all happened pretty, smoothly in the end. And I think we found, a mutual expression with this album. I think you can definitely recognize us, if you, especially with, the Living Infinite and the Ride Majestic, except we brought back some more sort of like classic heavy metal elements here and there, and a lot of beautiful melodies running through the album as well. So I don't know, it was a kind of an easy songwriting process, and then being in the studio together, all of us for 6 weeks, was really good too. It was very creative.
Yeah, that always has got to be a great bonding experience. Especially with the way the lineup is now. Being able to really get into what the band is about. Getting in the studio, writing together, and it's amazing that it came together so easily. Because when you listen to the music, it sounds so intricate at moments. It feels like it does take a lot of time to be able to get that down. But it's great to see that natural chemistry is right there.
Absolutely, and of course, we wrote the demos, but then, we left it open for interpretation, and in the studio, a lot of things, got added, and a lot of spontaneous stuff, even guitar overdubs, melodies, and even percussion, there's quite a bit of percussion on this album, and we haven't really had that before. I'm not really talking about tribal percussion, a la Soulfly or whatever. It's just different different. It's more has the vibe of Children of the Grave with Black Sabbath almost, you know. So that's sort of a new element, and Sven worked a lot with the keyboards as well. He worked more sort of with like early 80s keyboard sounds rather than, you know, mellotrons and Hammonds that, you know, we've had a lot of in the past. So that's also something new. So it was a very creative process being in the studio all together for 6 weeks, you know. So there was a lot of magic happening right there and then.
Yeah, and you know, it's so great to see that as well too. And the more I listen to the album, it really does just sound so fresh and so inspired. I mean, it like I've mentioned before, like it captures so much of what I love about the sound, but there's so much brand new that's going into it, like you said as well. I mean, of course, being a drummer myself, I'm able to hear more of that percussive side, and mentioning with Children of the Grave is a great way to look at it. And of course, with more of the keyboard sounds that are going on there, with different kind of synth sounds that are going on there. I mean, it adds so much that I didn't know was already possible with Soilwork.
You know, I guess we always find new ways, you know, of sort of, you know, evolving, you know, and developing our sound, and I think that's always been sort of one of the biggest motivating factors, you know, with this band, you know, to sort of keep the general theme, but always find new ways of sort of interpreting it in the end.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's amazing how you're able to do that with this sound. I mean, when you listen to this album, I mean, it's just like, it can get so complex at times, it can get so catchy and memorable at times. I mean, it's got so many different things that are going on there, but it also sounds so cohesive at the same time, especially when you listen to it from front to back.
Yeah, it's very detailed as well, you know, it's very multi-layered. You can listen to it so many times and still find new things, you know, here and there, and it also has to do that we didn't, you know, this time around we didn't make it we didn't quad record the guitars or the rhythm guitars or whatever, you know, so it's not that kind of like wall of rhythm guitars. There's so much room for other things, you know, and so it's more maybe stripped down in a sense, you know, than what we're used to when it comes to Soilwork, and I think that's definitely to our advantage, you know. There's a lot of things coming out on both keyboards and guitar melodies and also vocals, so I'm really happy about, you know, how we approach the recording as well, and then also the production.
Yeah, that was another thing I really noticed about it this time around too, and I was trying to figure out what that was, but knowing about lack of rhythm guitars, I mean, being able to open up the rest of the band, it's like I really do start to notice things that I might not have noticed had you gone with a different style of production this time around. So I'm able to hear the drums a little bit different, I'm able to hear the bass or the synths a little bit different. I mean, it's a really cool way to be able to go about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of that, of being able to add things onto this album, an amazing guest spot that I was able to see with this album was with Tommy from Amorphous on Niels and Kin, which I didn't realize how much I wanted to hear you two sing a song together until I was able to hear this, and it's just amazing how well both your voices mesh together in a song like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I guess I got inspired by the fact that we're touring together in January and February in Europe, a co-headline tour. And Tommy is definitely a master of, you know, low growls, and I think, you know, I felt like there was something missing in that song when I was writing it, and then I came to think about Tommy, and thankfully he said yes, and I think it brought it to a whole new level, you know. It turned out really good.
Yeah, and it's one of the really cool standout moments to me on that album. I mean, of course, with your amazing range that you're able to have with your voice, but, you know, it's so great to be able to hear something a little different in a Soilwork song, and having someone like Tommy being able to do that, and possibly even for the live shows, maybe even having him come out for the song and be able to sing it once or twice or something like that. I mean, that'd be just such a cool thing to be able to see that.
Absolutely. I haven't asked him yet, but I think I will, so we'll see what's going to happen. Maybe, you know, it's nothing I'm taking for granted that he's going to be able to do, you know, doing a full Amorphous set as well, but yeah, I'll definitely ask him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's going to be a great feeling too. I mean, obviously with so many Soilwork albums that you're able to choose from now, I mean, it's going to be a great feeling to be able to add some new material into the set now.
Absolutely. I mean, we're trying to sort of focus a little bit more on the latest 3 albums, because that's really where we're at right now, and also to be fair to the lineup, you know. And but of course, you also need to be fair to the fans, you know. So it's a tough task, you know. Yeah. I mean, we're trying to focus on the latest 3 albums, because I think that's fair to the lineup that we have right now, and it feels like a new era as well. But of course, I also want to be fair to our fans, you know. So we try to, of course, include old stuff as well, you know. But I would say that it's pretty focused on the latest 3.
Yeah, and you know, looking back, I mean, especially within the last 3 albums, it's amazing to see that the journey the band has already gone through just with these 3 albums in this lineup already. I mean, when you're able to see everything that's going on there with the songwriting and the creativity that's going on there, I mean, it feels like that musical chemistry is just getting more and more inspired with every album, and it's great to see that happen in a band.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's definitely what it feels like as well. There was something new happening, and I think we needed to go through the experiment that, you know, The Living Infinite was, you know, in the end. You know, we never knew how it was going to turn out. We knew we had something good, but is it going to make sense for a double album? You know, you never really know what's going to come out in the end, but it's, we definitely, you know, sort of rediscovered ourselves through that album. So it was definitely a crucial album for us to make.
Oh, very much so. And now between all 3 albums now, and now in 2019, I mean, starting off being able to tour with a band like Amorphous, I mean, it's so great to be able to see that you guys are able to tour with a band like that who just released an amazing album this year. And, you know, it's just like really showing off this great sign of metal that's going on in 2019.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect bill, you know. We've toured with Amorphous before, but I think that was like 12 years ago, so it's about time, you know. I think you can definitely, you know, throw around some mutual references when it comes to both bands as well, especially melody-wise, you know, on how it sounds very Scandinavian, you know. So I think it's a great lineup. And
with that in mind, I mean, obviously with this tour coming on now, and being able to do such great timing, being able to tour with Amorphous with a new album, what else is coming up in 2019?
There's going to be a bunch of festivals, both with Night Flight Orchestra and Soilwork, so it's going to be interesting. This year has been pretty calm compared to many other years, but next year all hell's breaking loose, I was going to say. But yeah, it's there's going to be a lot of stuff happening, you know, especially in the summer, and then we'll see in the fall what it has in store as well.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah, and I'm glad to see the Night Flight Orchestra is also going to be getting that proper festival shows that are going on there as well. I mean, I can imagine how busy it is being able to manage bands like that, but it's great to see both of them are going to be getting that equal promotion on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the end, I'm really grateful that, you know, I'm part of 2 bands that are doing really well, and it's completely different musical expressions too. So that's it's fantastic.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I mean, obviously with it still being 2018 and the brand new Night Flight Orchestra album coming out now, with a few months of hindsight now, looking back on it, how are you feeling about the new Night Flight Orchestra?
I'm really happy about it, and we're currently out on tour. Right now I'm in Germany, and we have still 5 or 6 more shows to do for this full European tour that we're doing, and then it's Christmas basically, and I mean, it's been so much fun to play the songs live as well, and you sort of realize, you know, the sort of craft behind it, you know. So yeah, and we also got Grammy nominated for the second year in a row here in Sweden as well. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's so well deserved too. I mean, that is one of my favorite albums of 2018, and it's great to see that it is getting the recognition it deserves, and you know, getting, you know, for the Swedish Grammys. I mean, being able to be nominated twice in a row now. I mean, that's gonna be feeling so great for you.
Hello. Oh yeah, finally it's working. I don't know. We have like Wi-Fi on the tour bus, and it's not working too well. Fortunately, sorry about that.
Oh, that's quite all right. And I was actually just messaging you now. As I know you got a busy rest of the press day and everything. So if just wanted to wrap it up quick, that way you have a few more minutes to be able to rest up and get to the other interviews. That's completely fine.
Yep.
But
cool. Yeah.
Oh, well, awesome. With that, just wanted to ask, with everything that's going on here with the Night Flight Orchestra and Soilwork and everything, I mean, obviously, keeping busy with all of that stuff, I mean, it's great to be able to see that, but for 2019, obviously, with the festival shows that are going on and everything, what's it like going to be for you, again, being able to promote these brand new albums in that live setting?
Well, the switch is gonna be interesting, even though I've found it pretty easy so far, somehow, probably because both bands are really sort of, very close to my heart, and, so I feel very balanced musically, in that sense, and then performing with both bands live is gonna be awesome, it's just, there's some festivals where I might end up having to do double duty, which is not ideal, obviously, but that's going to be extremely interesting if that happens.
Yeah, but I can imagine with that as well too. I mean, being able to switch from two different styles like that, and I imagine possibly on different stages, being able to get all that done. I mean, I can imagine how hectic that would be.
Yeah, but I mean, we're going to try to avoid it, but as much as we can, but yeah, there might be.
and with that in mind as well, too, I mean, obviously with a brand new album from Soilwork.
And I'm back.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Oh, the last thing I wanted to ask you, with obviously with 2019 again, with new Soilwork, new album, bit of a new lineup and everything that's going on there now. For people who haven't had the chance to be able to see you guys in a couple years, like myself, what should people expect from a new Soilwork live show?
Well, I think now that we have, the latest 3 albums, I think it's going to be easier to sort of, promote the new Soilwork as well. And I think a lot of those songs on these 3 albums are like really big sort of mood setters as well. They're going to cross over really well, live. So I think it's going to be even more, how can I say, a really cool atmosphere, when we play live. So, more atmosphere, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the next time I'm able to see you guys. And with that, I think that's a great note to end on. And thank you very much for taking the time to be able to talk to me about everything that's going on in the world of Soilwork. Obviously, with the new album coming out mid-January through Nuclear Blast, being able to talk a little bit about the Night Flight Orchestra as well. It's always an amazing time being able to talk to you, and I thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Before we wrap things up, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I hadn't brought up yet?
No, I think we covered just about everything. That was really good.